Are you tired of all of the duck in your life? I got just the thing for you.
Ribbit.
Welcome to Typically Hazardous. I am Steven, and this is another edition of Cowboy Cooking! And I'm so excited because I'm tired of all the same old duck recipes that we use all the time. Today, I'm going to show you how to make duck fried rice. Something a little different. Let's do it. Okay, let's start with what you actually need. So, I'm going to use 4 duck breasts here. You need day-old rice. I'm a big fan of jasmine rice, so that's what we've got here. But make sure it's day-old and it's been in the refrigerator. And you need some green onion. I like a little red pepper just to give it some color. A little bit of garlic. And of course, some eggs. One of the things I'm going to use to season my duck is a little bit of honey. Of course, your soy sauce. You gotta have it. A little salt and pepper. I like a little bit of ginger in mine. Then if you're crazy, a little MSG. Oh, look, I won't judge you. If this is what you're into, that's fine. Okay, so one of the really big tricks about any kind of fried rice recipe is you have to go fast. It's a total sprint, and so you have to make sure that all of your ingredients are cut, prepped, and ready to go before you ever put anything in the wok. Okay, so the green onions people mess up all the time. You really have 2 parts to the onion. You've got this white part that's really solid and you can feel it about to there. Then it starts to go hollow, then you've got this beautiful green part too. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna cook this part first, and then this part comes at the very end. I'll show you how to do it. So if you look at this duck breast, you can tell that this does not look like chicken. This is dark meat, and it cooks way differently than just like a normal chicken breast would be. In fact, this is the problem that most people have when they're cooking wild game, is they think it cooks just like the domesticated animal that we would typically eat. And so you're gonna cook duck breast more similar to the way you would cook like a chicken thigh or a chicken leg, because it's so different. Okay, so when you cook fried rice, it should always be on a cast iron wok like this. It's really just the best implement to do this at. We're gonna put the heat at about like a medium high, and we're gonna start with a little bit of oil. And anytime you put something in the wok, you're supposed to swirl it around the outside just like that. That coats the entire wok. And we're gonna start with our duck breast and our garlic. I wanna give a nice little sear on this duck breast. And I like it to cook in with that garlic to really get it a nice garlicky flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce, which is gonna be the base of a lot of the flavors that we use here. Then I'm also going to put a little bit of pepper. Then my secret ingredient is a little bit of honey. I like that duck breast to be kind of sweet, and this adds a nice kind of caramelized sweet flavor to all those nice savory flavors that we're putting in too. And the final ingredient, just a little bit of salt on there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is cook this duck for about 2 to 3 minutes here, just to put a little bit of a sear on it, and you're gonna stir it frequently. Now, one of the things that's really different about waterfowl, like duck or goose, you can actually cook it a little bit more rare than you would normal poultry. In fact, usually when you eat goose, it's served very rare. And so we're gonna leave this a little bit rare on the inside, and that's gonna actually protect it as we go to cook everything else. It won't overcook it. Okay, so I think it's ready for us to put in our next ingredient. It's gonna be those red bell peppers. Look how beautiful those are. And we just wanna stir those up a little bit, get them all mixed in nicely. Those bell peppers actually impart a really nice flavor to the duck too. Okay, and then we're gonna go with that white side, the solid side of those green onions that we had before. This is the part that needs to cook longer so it's not all crunchy and raw. And then, like I said before, that green side, that part we're gonna put in right at the very end. Okay, so once your bell peppers are starting to get a little bit soft and those onions are starting to get a little bit translucent, a little bit soft, we're gonna make a little spot to add in our eggs. And you're just gonna crack them. I'm gonna put, I think, about 4 eggs in this one. And once you do that, you're gonna stir it all up and scramble them. When you scramble your eggs, make sure you pull them away from the side, so from the side to the middle. That keeps them nice and fluffy. I'm just gonna add a little bit of seasoning to those eggs too. And then when you get it to this point where those eggs are mostly cooked up, I'm gonna just spread them out and mix them in with everything else. Okay, now I'm getting ready to put the rice in, so I'm gonna put a little bit more oil, just run it down the side, make sure everything is coated really nice. And then we stir, and stir, and stir. Okay, now comes that day-old refrigerated rice. Now, a lot of the times when you put that rice in, it'll have these lumps in it. Just when you refrigerate rice, sometimes it wants to stick together. It's okay, as it heats up, it'll start to separate, and you just kind of pulverize it with your, whatever that thing is. What is that thing called? That's a spatula. That's what it is.
Buy 9 spatulas, get the 10th one for just 1 penny.
So now we're gonna put in some soy sauce. So this is the main thing that's gonna impart flavor to this entire recipe, and that's what really seasons this rice for the most part. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit more seasoning. That is some ginger. I love a little bit of powdered ginger in this. And we'll stir it up real good. And you're basically, at this stage, you're just making sure that rice is all warmed up and heated and seasoned well. Okay, right at the very end here, we're gonna add in our green onion. Now, when you add in that top part of the green onion, you don't want it to sit in this hot wok for very long. You don't want it to wilt. It'll turn like really dark green and almost black, and it gets like mushy and gross. So you're basically just gonna leave it in here long enough for it to just mix in and warm up. And that is it. Okay, well, here it is. It's time for the moment of truth. Let's see. Okay, that's good. And that was just the rice. Let's try a little duck here. Yeah, buddy. That's good. The duck is so tender, and it's got that like savory from the soy, but it's got that little bit of sweet from the honey. Oh. That is an absolute delight. Well, friends, we've done it again. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Typically Hazardous. I know I did. This was wonderful. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.